Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you guys briefly about this project I took on, which is a sleeping bed platform and storage area. This one is made for a Tahoe, but it could also be added to other kinds of SUVs. Now, we've seen these before. This is not a unique creation on my part. I didn't use any plans or anything. I essentially just looked at some pictures and came up with my own design. But I thought I would just touch for those who are watching my channel who may not have seen this before or may wanted kind of some of the thoughts of how it was built. Take a look at what we got here. So a friend of mine reached out through YouTube and wanted me to build this for him, so I did. He provided some examples that were done by a group called Overland, and I guess this is one of their specialties, is to build these into various, I think they use a Suburban, I believe, or some other Chevrolet SUV. I don't recall what it was. But my friend wanted something very particular in his too, is he wanted the bed platform to fold up so he could still use his second row seating, which I thought was a real smart idea. And of course he wanted the side cubbies, which I'll discuss in a little bit greater detail. Let me show you guys what it looks like with the seats folded down and the bed platform out. As you guys can see here, this creates a pretty sizable sleeping area. So the seats fold forward on this particular SUV. I did cut down a crate box that I have, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, which I placed underneath that other sleeping area. It's hinged on some piano hinges there, and it just falls forward, and this allows a whole sleeping area. This is 48 inches wide by 72. So it works well for, average to shorter individuals. If you were a tall individual over 6 foot, you could sleep slightly diagonally, or you just wouldn't be able to stretch out, or you can kind of go in a fetal position sleeping area. But either way you cut it, it's still not a bad sleeping area, especially for what is kind of the shorter SUV for the Tahoe being for the Chevrolets. So let's talk about these side cubbies here. So these basically extend up, and this little curved area here by the window, it creates some storage for those. This particular pattern had to be all hand cut out up here. Basically, I used a piece of cardboard to trace the outline of that. And as you can see here and here, these are pieces that just close this off. Now, I've seen a couple variations of this opening here where it's multiple openings. I just decided to create one larger opening. And the windows, let me show you guys this here. The window coverings are actually XPS insulation, 1 inch thick, covered in fabric. So that way it covers up the windows and allows a backing for the placement of any kinds of goods in there. But it also provides some level of insulation for the camper itself. I'll show you guys a shot from the interior. This is a shot from the interior, or off what would be the driver's side door looking in, and you can see this is how the bed platform goes. This lifts up, it hinges flat. This is that little crate I was talking about right here, and I just cut it off to height. And this is, you could store stuff in there, as you see. And then these seats come up like this, and they secure like that. So therefore, just as you would in its conventional sense, you guys still have a seating area with the bed platform. Now, coming back here, you could see and imagine that this little system here, I think, is very useful even if you weren't going to go car camping. It provides a nice platform for storing goods in here and utilizes this space here to store stuff that you otherwise would not be able to use. Let me show you something real quick. So my friend here has a little backpack that he carries. I'm assuming it has medical supplies in it. And he can actually take this, and this little backpack here, as one example, will fit right up on it in the little storage area there and keep it out of the way, where otherwise it would be flopping around. So I think it really provides, some good opportunities there to store stuff. The owner of this vehicle also wanted a drawer system that had a workable platform here. Now the truck's on a little bit of an incline or decline here, so it's going to roll forward. But this is a nice workspace, and both of them have it. So you could either have one great big one, or you could do off to one side, and then this lifts up, and in here you have a generous amount of storage in an actual drawer. And then this goes in, just like any other drawer, and locks in place. Now, in terms of materials, basically this whole platform area, including the platform section that lays down to extend the bed area, is made of 3/4 inch plywood. And it essentially took just about one sheet, because it's obviously 48 inches wide, 72 inches, and the excess I cut off in the front I used for the support section and to hold the drawers. These side cubbies are 1/2 inch plywood, and if you guys have noticed, I chose to use pre-finished plywood on these exposed areas, and that took just about one sheet also. I had a little bit of irregular extra from cutting out the holes and cutting out the various angles, but it was largely not usable extra. So you're going to need one piece of 3/4, one piece of 1/2 inch. And then these drawer fronts on this is oak, and I trimmed it out with a little bit of cedar that I had left over. And then if you were to do this system here, I just used a 15-30 seconds construction grade piece of ply for the work surface, and I had some pine here. So you would probably need, depending on how you made the drawers, is you would either need to get some wood planks, or you would probably need about a sheet of 1/2 inch construction grade ply to make the various finishings on the drawers here. So in essence, in short, depending on how you made it, you'd probably need about 3 sheets of plywood, or you could use slightly less if you use some hardwood like I did in this project. As far as weight, I mean, we can all calculate the weight of various pieces of plywood. This might have added 100 to 150 pounds to the truck, but I think that is an entirely additional amount of weight, or a reasonable additional amount of weight to support the utility that it added to this vehicle. As far as attaching this is in the front, behind the drawers, there's a small storage access area, and I used some heavy-duty zip ties to essentially zip tie this down. I used some wedges to wedge it within the truck, and then these side pieces are screwed to this main base, and it's rock solid. It's not going to move, and especially when the seats are up, it's locked in there. It's, if you guys can see, it's a pretty tight cut to the roof. So this piece is rigid in here, and it's not going to move. So, but in short, I just wanted to guys show you this. As far as construction, I don't really think a set of plans are necessary. It's just a matter of taking the SUV you have and fitting it in place. The trickiest part of this project was getting the side cubbies scribed to the roof line. Like I said, a piece of cardboard as a template was key to finding that. And if you guys are wondering, these are 28-inch full extension slides. That's what I used on this particular one. And the height of this portion here is about 7.5. So this would sit at a total of roughly 8. Now that would be dependent on the kind of SUV that you have and the system that you use as far as the height of this, and that would just be determined on your particular application. So let me know what you guys think of this, and if you guys have any questions. Thanks.